welcome to a very special one-hour edition of Sports Final. First and foremost, let me tell you, this is a show for the fans. Hotbit of basketball, he was Paris down a hotbit of hockey.
Hello, John McQuiston with you from Applebee's Park.
What I want is the guy spins around, right? And then he just lets go of this thing.
That's right.
How does he know where it's going?
Golf, now they're playing the British Open this week at Royal Live in St. Anne's. The Wildcats are going to Long Island. They'll play Thursday afternoon at 12:20. It's the first game of the NCAA tournament when they play Holy Cross. Look out. No, it's just Holy Cross.
Get their first taste of how cold it can be when they try to play baseball games in April.
That much easier for him.
That's the buzzer. Time for us to go. Kentucky and LSU playing tonight.
I remember growing up, if I didn't watch a game live on TV or if I wasn't at the game, I would kind of have to wait until nighttime and watch the news with my grandma and just kind of catch up on everything that happened. Not just with my team, but with like teams all over the world. I just remember having to watch the news or waiting for the paper to come in the morning to be able to find out kind of what's been happening, or maybe like the radio. Everything's just there for everybody to see, and highlights are just picked up so quickly, and a goal or a celebration like we were lucky to have a week ago can go viral in a matter of minutes.
Traditional media is defined as the types of media that have been used since before the internet and mobile phone technology were developed. Radio, print, and TV were the mediums turned to for all types of news sources. Traditional sports news was simply talking to players and writing stories to be aired. But nowadays, there's a bunch of different responsibilities that come with the job description. A quote from Julian Valentine mentions engaging with the fans is the pillar of social media strategy. It's a responsibility to utilize social media as dialogue with the fans rather than a source to broadcast.
There's a communal aspect to sports, and I think regardless of the sport and the size of the community, I think building that tight-knit group of people, because as you galvanize a certain number of people, it's going to grow. They're going to bring other people on. Hey, come check out this game. You should follow this account. So I think eventually, in time, it'll continue to snowball to a point where people want to be a part of it. They want to consume your content. They want to go to your games. So I think just being resilient, building those communities, having those one-to-one conversations and connections, I think that's the most important thing, and that's what we try to do. We try to be accessible, and we try to be interactive, and we try to be engaging for our fans and for all sports fans.
CBS Corporation, Bleacher Report, BN Sports, and ESPN are just to name a few of the top sports media companies in 2018. Streaming live sports has also increased over the years. NBC Sports Digital streamed more than 20,000 hours of live content alone, which is up 33% from 2017. Amazon has just renewed a 2-year contract with the NFL to stream Thursday night football games. Twitter streams live sports with the MLB, MLS, and PGA Tour. And although Facebook's deal with the MLB is now being cut 19 live events short, the 6 that they are able to stream live will now have interactive and social elements that will allow fans to participate in the live coverage. These sports media companies use direct customer service and have adapted to changing sports media consumption patterns. The utilization of new media costs less, but affects more efficiently and consistently. Using social media specifically benefits sports organizations in building relationships with the public, reducing marketing costs, and increasing sales. But it's important to research and keep up with the trends set by society.
There's been a huge emphasis on some of the creative outputs you can do above and beyond just own content. So thinking about highlights, one thing that I've really seen teams do that's been great is adding elements and flair to highlights. So we actually have hired an animator within our department that, let's say one of our players has a huge dunk on somebody, a huge poster, a nasty crossover. We're sending them the highlight and they're adding, bits and pieces. Maybe they're making someone disappear off a crossover. Maybe they're literally turning a highlight that somebody got posted on into a poster and really adding on to the stuff that we own and making it our own in a more creative way.
Although sports media is adapting quickly and successfully to the use of new media, there are issues with the way it represents or misrepresents certain groups of athletes. 40% of all athletes are women, yet women receive 4% of media coverage. Could more media exposure of female athletes increase the population of fans, the attendance in games, and the money produced? What role does the media play in building audiences and sustaining interest?
I do know Title IX is to empower and create equal opportunity for girls in education and sport at the school level, so junior high, high school, university. So it doesn't really apply to the business and marketing side. But I will say if you look at brands like right now, we're on this trend of female empowerment, equal pay, and you see our politics, there's a lot of females with seats at the table right now. And so I think we're in this transition where, you can kind of find if you're a marketer, you can find your niche audience and partner with powerful women to grow your brand. And so without exploiting this new found climate, there's a lot of opportunity, and I think the growth there will continue to rise, and especially as our female athletes are being put in places where you see them on TNT for the NBA, or you see them on the sideline commentating games, or on the radio like my friend Ruth Riley in Miami. So there's just more opportunities will drive that access that you're talking about.
An unfortunate kind of thing that happens with people is out of sight, out of mind, right? So if you don't highlight these types of things, maybe they're not front of mind. And you see that, for instance, when the Women's World Cup rolls around and it's all over social media, it's all over TV, everybody's tuned in, everybody knows what's happening. You can't see something if it's not being shown. So I think it would only help, and it only helps when things like that are broadcasted, when things like that are shared on social media, across digital. Perfect example was Atletico Madrid in Spain just broke a record for the highest attendance ever at a women's soccer game, and it was all over social media and people heard about it. Same type of phenomenon can happen with U.S. soccer, with the women who represent us. Same type of deal happens with Serena Williams, for instance. Is that enough? Are 3 examples enough? Probably not. Yeah, I think there's room for more.
When we discuss media coverage, there's also the issue with the way females are presented. Women are typically portrayed to be off the court, out of uniform, and in highly sexualized poses. Even comments on social media posts of female athletes from fans and the public depict females to be in traditional roles that reaffirm their sexuality. Screenshots from just the month of April show posts from ESPN that celebrate female athletes and their victories, with comments about women making sandwiches, needing to get back in the kitchen, and mentioning not being aware of an event taking place.
We don't have enough visible women leaders. We don't have enough women in power.
During the NCAA Women's Final Four, Notre Dame's head coach Muffet McGraw made a passionate statement calling for gender equality and mentioning that sports is a good place to start. With this trend of female empowerment, there is hope for females in sports to thrive in the next generation. Sports media has grown tremendously over the years, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Sports teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves have jumped into the world of 2K esports, and we are now seeing commercials of people using VR headsets to enjoy courtside seats of live games. And what about drones? Are drones the future of sport training? This all may become part of the norm for sports in the near future.